10 Eyewitness News.
Bill Shorten has come to the aid of a distraught mother and her 2-year-old son after they crashed head-on with another car right in front of the opposition leader's convoy in the Hunter Valley. Here's Hannah Maguire.
They smashed head-on, just metres from the man who could be our next Prime Minister. Bill Shorten consoles a woman involved and her 2-year-old son, while a 21-year-old woman in the other car remains trapped.
It's that terrible sound, that dull thud when there's a car accident and your heart goes sort of into your mouth and you think, oh, what's happened?
Mr Shorten and his entourage of politicians and police were driving in convoy to Maitland. They were pulling up on the side of the road for a media conference when a vehicle tried to overtake them but crashed straight into an oncoming car. A nurse who was driving behind pulled over to help, and so did the Labor leader.
It's often when a person's true character is shown in a situation like this. He was completely sensitive, very reassuring and just fabulous.
And that's the greatest fluke of all times, you know, that he'd be in this area.
Thankfully no one has been seriously injured.
The young woman in the blue car has been taken to John Hunter Hospital in Newcastle with head injuries and a sore knee, but she'll be okay. The mum and toddler are thankfully fine too.
Bill and I have just delivered her home with her little fellow, and she's just texted me and said that she's okay.
Mr Shorten cancelled a planned street walk in Maitland this afternoon. Hannah Maguire, 10 Eyewitness News.
Before his day came crashing to a stop, the opposition leader unveiled Labor's biggest announcement of the campaign so far, $12 billion to keep a visit to the doctor affordable. The Prime Minister says it is another unfounded and meaningless plan. Catalina Flores has the latest.
Taking his campaign to the waiting room,
Bill Shorten, how are you?
the opposition leader unveils Labor's biggest spending commitment of the election.
Labor will fight this election on defending Medicare and defending bulk billing.
From next January, a Shorten government would unfreeze the rate at which government payments are passed on to doctors. The freeze currently runs until 2020. Doctors have been preparing to mount a fierce campaign over the measure, saying they'd be forced to increase fees for patients.
One of the concerns that I have is that some of them will start going to emergency departments.
Labor's announcement will cost its bottom line $2.4 billion over 4 years, rising to more than $12 billion over a decade.
Labor's always talking about spending, but how are they going to balance the books?
Bill Shorten says he would pay for it through already announced savings and not giving tax cuts to big business.
Our proposal is not only fair, it's economically sensible.
Today's announcement is designed to play to Labor's traditional strength of healthcare, and it allows it to claim it's on the side of patients. Bill, you keep doing this to me. Why?
Because you're such an awesome journalist. Today's announcement on Medicare is good news for bulk billing. It's good news for all people in Australia who want to keep the costs of going to the doctor down.
And so you can guarantee that you can pay for it as well?
Absolutely. Elections are about choices. I can guarantee I won't give a $50 billion tax cut to big business, but I can guarantee that I'll make sure that we save bulk billing.
We'll keep you to that.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Catalina Flores, 10 Eyewitness News.
The asylum seeker debate has well and truly taken over the election campaign as we head towards the end of week 2. It is traditionally safe territory for the coalition, but the waters have been muddied as the fallout continues over accusations of racism. Here's Adam Todd.
The PM says he wants to talk about jobs and growth.
This matches my tie. Orange is the colour of the day.
But research out today suggests his budget sales job has, so far, fallen a little flat. Perhaps that's why this week's focus is boats. Today, the Immigration Minister was unrepentant about his comments that refugees are illiterate.
So do you admit that the comments made about asylum seekers were racist?
No, not at all.
After backing him in yesterday, the PM adopted a more conciliatory tone.
There's no greater admirer of our multicultural society, of the enormous range of faiths, religions, races, ethnic backgrounds, cultures than me.
Setting up what appears to be a good cop, bad cop routine.
You look at what's happened in Brussels and Paris, the United States, United Kingdom and elsewhere. This is a bigger issue at this election than it's ever been.
Barely a day goes past past when I don't celebrate that we are the most successful multicultural nation in the world. And we are built on immigration.
This is Malcolm Turnbull's third visit to Western Sydney in the campaign so far. By contrast, he's only visited the other mainland state capitals once. The Prime Minister knows this is where the campaign could be won or lost. The opposition leader has his own issues, facing ongoing questions about the property investments of Labor frontbencher David Feeney.
I understand in terms of his wife's declarations today, that's all been done according to the rules and has been adhered to the rules.
At the house he forgot to register in Melbourne, it appears Mr Feeney's tenants are unimpressed. Adam Todd, 10 Eyewitness News.